I've not done a Le Mans World Touring Car 700 build for quite some time, and I thought I'd just have a go at doing one now. It's a pretty chill race because it doesn't matter how fast you do it, you earn the same amount of credits per hour. 30 minutes is the race time, and there's so many different cars you can use to win this race. Not only that, you have the extra excitement of the dynamic weather, which is fantastic in Gran Turismo 7, so it's pretty cool to go and race. Who knows what the weather's going to do. And with this build that I'm going to show you right now, it doesn't really matter what the weather does because this car will absolutely dominate. Yes, this is the Ford Mustang. Now, this isn't just any Ford Mustang, this is the Gr.B rally variant of the Ford Mustang, and it's four-wheel drive. But right now, let's go to Le Mans and see what this can do. In fact, I am so confident in this car's ability to dominate Le Mans World Touring Car 700 that I'm not even going to bother buying any intermediate or wet tyres. I don't have them, I haven't bought them. Let's see if I can win this potentially wet weather race without any wet weather tyres. Now, the first thing you want to do is switch over to the MFD for the fuel mixture, put it to 6 lean because we're going to be running fuel mixture 6 for the whole race. This is all we need to do. We've got so much power in the car, we don't need to be using an aggressively rich fuel mixture. We want the fuel efficiency to allow us to get a good 4 laps on a tank of fuel, which makes this car into a one-stop strategy race. 4 laps and 3 laps is the strategy, pending weather. But actually for me, because I'm going to commit to the dry tyres for the whole race, it doesn't really matter what pit lap I need to pit on. I'll send it to the inside, into Tetra Rouge. Lamborghini's going to go deep, it's going to square it off. Bit of contact. Put a move on that Mazda. Now for this car, it is geared in such a way to save fuel on the straights, so a little short shift in 5th gear, just to get into 6th gear as quickly as you can, just makes the car so much more fuel efficient on the straights. The 200 meter board is what we're looking at for our braking reference into the first chicane on the brakes. So I'm down to 3rd gear for the first part of the chicane, 2nd gear for the middle part of the chicane on the corner exit. And even in fuel map 6, this car's got so much power. I think by default we're well over 700 horsepower, so this car absolutely dominates, and we are 9 seconds off the lead. We'll put a move on the BMW, also on the Mitsubishi, and looking for the second brake marker board. This is the first brake marker board, 300. That'll be the 200 on the brakes. Down to 3rd gear for this sequence of corners here. The second corner is a bit tighter than the first. That could be a track limits penalty. We'll see how that one serves out. But we're so fast in this race, guys, we don't need to worry about track limits or anything like that. We're going to dominate this race. The only thing that could play a part in this particular one is the lack of wet weather tyres. I'd highly recommend using wet weather and intermediate tyres if you're using this car, but I just wanted to demonstrate how good this car can be. All the way down to 2nd gear for this corner here, the corner exit, nice amount of slide. I am using the racing hard tyres. You could use the racing medium tyres, but they will only last 3 laps. But it does give you the option if you want to switch out for a pit stop with less than 3 laps. So just put a faster tyre on to get that race done. And there we are, 4 seconds off the lead of the race already. A little bit of brakes before we go into Indianapolis. Play through here, and then on the brakes even more for the second part. Now the car does drive really nicely, and you can play with the torque vectoring center diff to see how you want the car to drive on corner exits. So the more 50-50 you have for the torque vectoring center diff, the more safe and easy the car is to drive, the bit more understeer on power, the more rearwards the torque distribution, the more like a rear-wheel drive car this will drive. So on the radar we can see a little bit of rain coming in. It's super light clouds, so I think it's not really going to rain that much just yet. But normally the rain picks up a little bit more. Okay, so the window wipers are on now. A little bit of rain coming down. But it's not too hard at the moment. I think we're still within the dry tyres operation window. We'll just do that. And I can do at least one more lap of fuel, so I'm just going to do that because I've not got any wet tyres to put on anyway. I might as well just go one more lap on these tyres. And the rain stops. Okay, so it comes to the end of lap number 4. There's still some rain in the air, but I'm just going to pit for fuel anyway, and I will put another set of dry tyres on. Now I could actually go to a medium because I'm only going to do 3 more laps to win this race. I don't have any wet tyres available anyway, so I am going to try and put a medium tyre on. I'm going to fill the tank to full because I can probably use a slightly more rich fuel mixture to get a bit more power out the car. But we have got the rain coming down, so it's going to be an interesting finish to this race. It takes so flipping long to get the car from pit entry into the pit box in this one, guys. But guys, while you're waiting, if you do want anything from GT Omega, discount code is just right here for you. CD5 will get you 5% up anything at GT Omega. I use the classic wheel stand, the RS6 seat, absolutely love it. I think it's got the rear seat frame that connects it all together, so you can go straight from a basic wheel stand and upgrade to add the rear frame and add the seat, just to give you that full racing experience right from just having a wheel stand. So I think that's actually fantastic. Go and check out GT Omega. And then we're out on the track now on the racing medium tyres, so we're going to have a bit more grip than we had previously, and it looks like the rain isn't going to affect me too much. I'm not even going to have to prove how good the car drives in the wet conditions because we're still going to be driving in the dry. Can we get a sub 4-minute lap time? So across the line, lap number 6 is going to be sub 4 minutes, and I'm still on fuel map number 6, so there's so much room for this car to be faster than what we're demonstrating in this video. On our way to completing the 7th lap of this race now, and we're arriving ahead of schedule, really, about a minute too quick. With the Le Mans World Touring Car 700, there is no reason at all to finish the 7th lap and do the 8th lap. The AI are 2 minutes behind me. I've got 50 seconds left to go. The fastest way to earn credits is to finish as close to 30 minutes as possible. So yeah, this car is too fast. If anything, it outperforms the race. I did get a little bit lucky with the weather in this one because we actually had no significant weather, which means we needed to make a tyre change. But the beauty with this race is that it's so much variety can happen. You can have a mostly dry race, you can have it absolutely piss it down on lap number 2 and be chaotically scrabbling to the pits to get the intermediates and the wet weather tyres on. It is a lot of fun to drive this race. So let's just wait for that time to expire. We don't want to cross the line and have to do another lap because that would be a little bit like suicide racing. And across the line, so we're going to get it done. We're going to get the win, almost exactly 30 minutes. That is the most efficient way you can do this race. 30 minutes 2 seconds, just those 2 seconds for the margin of safety. Sub 4 minute lap time. This car is an absolute beast. Of course, we get the 825,000 credits for exactly 30 minutes work. Let's go through the tuning details for you now. So the car settings, head over to detailed setup. Here is the exact settings that I'm using. So for the 700 pp tune, I've got a 600 pp tune. I'll probably cover that in the future, guys. Racing hard tyres, front and rear. You can use racing medium tyres. It does work. It still falls within the 700 pp category, but they only last 3 laps. So if you want to go for the 4 lap stint, I would highly recommend the racing hard tyres. For the body height adjustments, 90 at the front, 95 at the rear, 6 front anti-roll bar, 5 rear anti-roll bar, 71 front compression, 70 rear compression, 75 front ratio expansion, 80 rear expansion, 2.5 natural frequency at the front, 2.2 natural frequency at the rear, 1.2 degrees of camber front and rear, 0 toe angle at the front, 0.8 degrees inward toe in at the rear. For the differential setup here, 5, 5, 20, 30, 45, 5, and then the 30, 70 torque bias. You can change this in the race, and if you want the car to be a little bit more oversteery, then send the torque bias more towards the rear, and then if you want to be a little bit more safer, especially when the rain comes down, then you can move it more towards 50-50. On to the downforce setup now. It's maximum downforce front and rear. Fully customizable ECU at 100, no ballast positioning, 100 on the power restrictor, fully customizable racing transmission set at 360. I don't bother setting the manually adjusting gears, so I just set to 360, no nitrous and overtake. Brake balance, feel free to change it on the fly. I just drove it at 0, it seemed to drive pretty good like that. And I do have the high-end torque supercharger that gives me 788 horsepower. If you want to install the steering angle kit, feel free to do so. So that is going to be your 700 pp Le Mans World Touring Car 700 domination machine. If you want to subtly change the way the car drives, then all of this first column is available for you to change the settings on, and it has no effect over the pp at all. If you want to know exactly what each setting does, then check out the video on screen right now. I'll head over there and I'll talk you through all the settings in Gran Turismo 7.